We're chasing October, presented by your Toyota Tri-State Dealers Association. And here are the standings up to the minute with the Milwaukee-St. Louis game still in the balance. Braves, forget about it. Padres are 2 up on the Phillies, and the Phillies at the moment are a game and a half over the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers come back and win. That goes to 1 game. Otherwise, it goes back to 2 if St. Louis holds on.
The thing is that the one thing that you have to look at this game, Marcus Stroman was very good in this game. Ben said it during the 7th inning. He had a lot of good late movement. When you do that, you're going to get a lot of ground balls. Wheeler was the same way on both sides of the plate. Wheeler's sinker was outstanding, and his breaking pitches are really coming along. When you look at this as a whole, those 2 starting pitchers tonight, 21 ground balls, 3 balls in the air for outs. That is impressive. Wheeler, 0. Did not allow – his only fly balls were the hits he gave up.
Let's go out to Wrigley Field right now, north side of Chicago. Check in with Ruben Amaro Jr. Call tonight's game with Tom McCarthy on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Ruben, why does it seem, not always, but it seems that when a pitcher has it over the Phillies, in other words, their record against the Phillies is strong, the Phils fail to overcome that. Doesn't happen all the time. Certainly at Atlanta and against Atlanta, they've managed to overcome the likes of Max Fried, etc. But Stroman's had his way with them, hasn't he?
Well, Stroman's thrown the ball very well against him, and you got to give him some credit. But I was listening to Ben and Ricky, and you're right. I thought after the first few at bats, after Schwarber's at bat, and then a couple other at bats in the early part of the game, that they were going to be patient with him. But Stroman did a nice job of staying on the corners, keeping the ball down. He didn't really elevate all that much, and when he did, Phillies didn't have an answer for him. I was encouraged by what I saw out of Zack Wheeler. That is huge for the Phillies. Obviously, you want to win this ball game, especially with the way he pitched. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it done. But the one thing that I was a little concerned about, I sensed a little bit of panic in some of the swings. A lot of early swings, especially with the guys that came in out of the bullpen. I guess they had a plan to go right after these guys. Both the closer and Hughes, they're going after pitches pretty aggressively. I guess that they had a plan to do that. But, anytime you don't see the ball well and you're, not getting great swings off early in the count, that to me, it makes me feel like there's a little bit of panic going on.
Ruben, let me ask you a little something. We saw Bryce Harper tonight, 2 for 4. It looks like his swing's coming along in just in the nick of time.
Yeah, that was huge. The first ground ball he hit, early in the game, and I think this happened a few games ago also when he ended up hitting a home run to left center field. He hit the ball the other way, twice, one to left center, big base hit, 2-out base hit to drive a run in, the only run tonight, and then a nice piece of hitting in his last at-bat against Hughes before they yanked him out of the game. But it's nice to see Bryce, take those swings and take that approach because they're going to need him here at the end.
So what's your sense of this, Ruben? 1 week from tonight, we will be on the eve of the last game of the regular season. Do you sense that it's going to go down to that for the Phillies, or that they will clinch a spot prior to that?
Well, obviously you hope that they try to clinch that earlier, but there's a lot of factors going on right now. One, they're not swinging the bats all that well. It's great to see Zack Wheeler throw the ball the way he threw the ball, and they have Nola and Suarez pitching in the last 2 games of this series. But the Cubs have their number. They have to concentrate on winning this game, this next game tomorrow. That's the most important game of the season for them, and that's how they have to concentrate on, and that's how they have to focus. Hopefully they can have a much better result.
All right, Ruben, thank you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Great job with T-Mac tonight, of course, from the booth. Ruben Amaro
Stop
Jr.
looking so blue.
Okay,
he looks very blue, and I think Phillies Nation looks blue right about now, too, of course. A loss with now 9 games to go. Ruben joining us in Chicago. By the way, here's the correct number on the games back for the Brewers behind the Phillies. The Phillies are 2 back of San Diego, and the Brewers losing 6-1 at last check to St. Louis in Milwaukee. The Brewers are 1 game back right now of the Phillies. So So
probably
it's a
going
little too close for comfort.
It's 6-1 in that game in the 7th inning. He's probably going to go back to 1.5. This isn't the way you want to do this. You want to take care of business yourself. The one thing I said in pregame, you can't be watching the scoreboard. What you have to do is take care of what's in front of you. Phillies didn't do that.
I'll ask you both the same question I asked to Ruben. Why is it difficult for them to overcome pitching that, and I realize these guys are good when you're talking about some of the better pitchers in the league, but don't you expect them at some point to overcome that? They know Marcus Stroman is a good pitcher. They needed to get some runs against this guy.
It's easier said than done. And you look at Stroman, and that's why I was a little frustrated watching the offense, because you know the firepower that they have in this lineup. And you know it's from time to time, it can be 1 through 9. They have a lot of depth in this lineup. But it was just the approach. That's the thing that I have the biggest problem with, was the approach. Okay, you get me out one way. All right, I have to make the adjustment. That's what hitting is. It can be from pitch to pitch. It can be from at-bat to at-bat. It can be from game to game. It can be from year to year. But you have to make the adjustments, and that's what they did not do tonight, and that's why I was frustrated watching it, because it was the same thing to every batter.
Rob Thompson on a 2-1 loss in Chicago.
That's twice this year. Stroman's been really tough on you guys.
Yeah.
What did you see from him?
Gets the ball in
your
the
offense in general.
Yeah, gets the ball on the ground. You know, keeps people off balance. Good sink. Changes speeds well. He's kind of deceptive with the shimmy shake, but yeah, he's pitched well against us.
Does Zach get tired in the 6th there? Or? That was short of where you were targeting.
Yeah, but the 6 ups, you know, it was 4 the last time. We went to 6, and even though he still had some pitches left, I was comfortable getting him out of there.
Did you think he showed some signs of fatigue there? He walked a guy, maybe his velo might have been a tick down?
Yeah, he threw, what was it, 4 or 5 fastballs up out of the zone. JT made a nice trip to the mound, but yeah, he might have been getting a little bit tired. I didn't ask him that, but geez, he threw the ball well, and velo was still up, and I thought the secondary pitches tonight were better than the first outing, so it was really, really encouraging from that point.
Give any thought to using Syndergaard after Wheeler?
Well, once we got to the tie game, then, you know, it's sort of the end of our bullpen, and we didn't have Sir Anthony or Eflin tonight. I want to give them the night. Blotty was kind of an emergency guy, so we went to Broggy with those right-handers there. Actually, he threw the ball well. He got soft contact. He just left he didn't get a pitch high enough to Gomes to get it over the barrel, and he just, you know, he got some pretty good wood on it, but drove it the other way. But everything else was ground ball and soft contact. I thought he threw the ball well.
And the hit by Hap was sort of shift. I mean,
Yeah.
Is that kind of galling there to see that happen?
Yeah, it's that's frustrating at times, but that's the way it is. I mean, we've got so many outs in the shift that sometimes you give them up.
You've gotten contributions from up and down your roster, so a lot of depth guys, but when the season is sort of on the line here, do you feel like you need some of your bigger guys, your stars in the lineup to step up a little bit here?
Yeah, and they have. You know, Harper got a big hit tonight, and then he got the big hit in the 9th, too, off the lefty. So, you know, and Reese has been heating up. Schwarb had a couple of home runs the other day, so, you know, they're starting to get it going.
What do you think about that throw from Castellanos there?
It's a great throw, and a great job by Stott to hold the tag on Contreras. Nick looked really good tonight. He had a base hit, and he moved around well in the outfield. So he'll play again tomorrow, and then we'll take it day by day.
Are you happy with where Wheeler is after 2 starts and kind of progression?
I'm ecstatic. I really am. I think it's been, I think that time off maybe did him some good, and hopefully will do us all some good as we get down the road here.
He was saying he hopes to get to 90 by his 3rd start.
Yeah.
Will he be able to go?
We're gonna be close. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna be close. I mean, if he's, by the time the season ends, if he has another start, then he's gonna be at 100, 105, and that's kind of where we want him to be. So. Thank you.
Twitter is absolutely angry. They're wailing over this loss tonight. Guys getting big money to not produce. I hear you. But one guy who did produce, the reigning MVP, Bryce Harper, singled to lead off the 9th inning. Here he is post-game.
Kind having a hot night. It seems like neither offense really. I mean, it's a cold night. Tough night to hit. I don't know. The game went so quick almost.
Yeah, I thought Will threw the ball really well, as he always does. I mean, he went out there and threw the best ball he could, and we just weren't able to do what we needed to do in the box to get a couple runs against them. I thought Stroman threw the ball well also, and like you said, cold night, but that's not an excuse. It's going to be cold in September, October always, and we got to find a way to get guys in, get on base, and have good at bats.
Are you happier with your last